Mickey van der Ven to be offered a new contract. Tell and Odobert on fire for France under-21s, while it was a mixed night for our other players on international duty. Villa could be without their main number 9 on Sunday when they face Spurs. Porro says he's got the heart of a winger, and could Vicario's position be under threat? Here are your daily Tottenham news headlines. Hello, welcome back to the channel. My name's Craig and here are your daily Tottenham news headlines, where I'll be going through all the latest news, rumours and reports. If you're watching on YouTube and are not already as yet subscribed to the channel, please consider doing so. Like, share and comment below. And if you're listening on an audio platform, please do hit that follow button and leave a review if you can. Okay, let's get into it. TBR Football report that Tottenham want Mickey van der Ven's new contract sorted out before the new year to avoid his future being discussed by other clubs, sources have told TBR Football's chief correspondent Graham Bailey. Central defenders are likely to be a hot topic of the next two transfer windows, with several European clubs looking to sign one. Real Madrid are keen on Van der Ven, and TBR Football revealed back in September, meanwhile, that Chelsea and Bayern Munich are also interested. Bailey told TBR Football, "I am told it's very much one of Vinay Venkatesham's priorities to get him tied down before the new year. They don't want Van der Ven's name to become part of the centre-back talk that is already happening. Spurs know he's under contract till 2028, so in theory he can't move, but they want to keep him happy, and Spurs know he is as good as anything in England or indeed Europe at the moment." Matisse Tel and Wilson Odobert led the way for free scoring France under-21s as they hit their opponents for 6 for the second time this international window in the UEFA Under-21 Championship qualifying. After contributing a goal each in Friday's 6-0 win against the Faroe Islands, plus an assist for Wilson, they went one better with 3 goals and an assist each in a 6-1 win against Estonia in Grenoble, 8 goal contributions in 4 days. Matisse opened the scoring from Wilson's assist on 9 minutes and soon laid into the path for Cisse to fire home for 2-0. Matisse was involved in the build-up as Wilson finished at the far post for 4-1 in the second half, and Wilson then drilled home from 20 yards for 5-1 on 79 minutes, with an inch away from a hat-trick as another curler clipped the post. Tell was withdrawn on 83 minutes, while Odobert completed the full shift. Ben Davies proudly led Wales out as he earned his 100th cap against Belgium, but the night ended in disappointment for the defender. First capped in 2012, Ben became only the 4th player to reach a century for Wales after Gareth Bale, Chris Gunter and Wayne Hennessy, as he wore the armband for an important FIFA World Cup qualifier. Everything looked to be going to plan when Ben's former Spurs teammate Joe Rodon headed Wales into the lead after 8 minutes at the Cardiff City Stadium. Unfortunately, that was the high point. Belgium levelled 10 minutes later through Kevin De Bruyne from the penalty spot after a handball against Ethan Ampadu, and went ahead through Thomas Meunier on 24 minutes. Wales fought back in terms of possession and territory at the start of the second half, but then a huge blow as Ben was forced off after 71 minutes. De Bruyne soon added Belgium's third, another handball, another penalty, and any hopes of a comeback when Nathan Broadhead struck in the 89th minute were ended by Leandro Trossard's quick reply for a 4-2 a minute later. Brennan Johnson came off the bench on 58 minutes. The result leaves Wales third in Group J, with their next 2 matches against bottom side Liechtenstein, played 6, lost 6 on 15th of November, and then a crucial final game against North Macedonia, currently second, 3 points ahead, but having played a game more on 18th of November. If, as expected, Wales beat Liechtenstein, then they will be level on points with North Macedonia going into that final group fixture. Lucas Bergvall started for Sweden, but it proved to be a night to forget for the young midfielder. He was substituted at half-time as his side went down 1-0 at home to Kosovo in Group B. Meanwhile, in Group A, Jamie Donnelly remained an unused substitute as Northern Ireland lost narrowly 1-0 to Germany in Belfast. Archie Gray and Ashley Phillips both played 90 minutes as England beat Andorra 1-0 at Pride Park. The scoreline doesn't tell the whole story though. The young Lions had 19 efforts at goal to Andorra's 1. According to a report from The Athletic, Ollie Watkins has been forced to withdraw from the England camp with an injury and has now returned to Aston Villa. The centre-forward suffered a knock during England's 3-0 win over Wales on Thursday and was forced off at half-time. Having been unable to shake off the knock, England have decided to release him early. Consequently, Watkins will not be in the Three Lions squad for the Tuesday's trip to Latvia, where a victory would guarantee their place at next summer's World Cup. To fill in for the injured Aston Villa star, Thomas Tuchel surprisingly called up Spurs academy talent Dane Scarlett. The 21-year-old trained with the England senior squad on Monday at the Hotspur way. Coming back to Watkins, the 29-year-old is now a big doubt to face Spurs on October 19th. He was spotted limping out of Wembley Stadium after Wales game last week. The striker has endured a slow start to the season but opened his account in the 3-1 win over Fulham last month and then added another goal against Wales. Thus, if Watkins was to miss the trip to North London, it would be a major setback for Unai Emery. For Frank and co, it would be a big boost as the Villa striker is a real handful, loves to run the channels and play on the shoulder of the last defender. He also boasts a decent personal record against Tottenham, with 3 goals and 2 assists in 10 appearances. Pedro Porro has been speaking while on international duty and has stated that he now has more of a winger's soul, therefore he's under a lot of pressure defensively. He discussed balancing his defensive and offensive responsibilities as a right back. Nowadays, you have to be important in both roles, he said. I like reading comments, and several years ago, I was very involved defensively, trying to be a little more involved and see what I can do. Because then in attack, I have that self-confidence that's also required of a fullback when they reach the deep areas. In defence, you have to be consistent, and in attack, you also have that support for your teammates when they need it. Tottenham appointed Thomas Frank as their new manager this season. They are third in the table, 2 points behind leaders Arsenal. And Porro says the Dane is doing a magnificent job. Although the Spaniard is happy with Tottenham's start, he's disappointed losing the UEFA Super Cup to Paris Saint-Germain. The truth is, I'm very happy and very settled at Tottenham. The start of the season has been very good, Porro explained. It's a shame we lost the Super Cup final on penalties against PSG after going 2-0 up. You have to win that title. But for me, they're one of the best clubs in the world. If you're not focused for the full 90 minutes, that's what happens. Tottenham want to make a surprise signing in a position in 2026, and Team Talk can shed light on what that means for the star who'll potentially be replaced. One of Team Talk's transfer insiders, Dean Jones, recently revealed Frank wants a new goalkeeper. Frank is not wholly convinced by current number 1 Guillermo Vicario, and Antonin Kinski hasn't done enough behind the scenes to jettison the Italian out of the starting 11. As such, a new stopper is on the agenda for 2026, but it's not yet clear whether the new face will serve as competition for Vicario or his replacement. Nevertheless, Jones insisted the names of goalkeepers Tottenham are targeting should filter into the media later this month. It's at that point we, including Vicario, will learn whether Spurs are targeting a player who'll oust Vicario from the 11 or simply stiff competition. It'll be interesting to discover what the goalkeeper shortlist looks like once it's drawn up and just how under threat Vicario truly is, explained Jones. I would love to reveal some names, but at this stage it's just a little too early. I get the impression they would be willing to wait until the summer to find the right candidate, but if it is possible, someone could come in during January. I think names will emerge soon, probably by the end of this month, and that will then help us understand whether they are looking at genuine competition for the number 1 spot and whether Vicario is in danger. Okay, here's my thoughts on all those stories today. Firstly, Mickey van der Ven's possible new contract. Look, this can only be a good thing. This has been mentioned before, but look, we need to tie players like Mickey van der Ven down at Tottenham. He's in contract, like I say, for a good few years yet. But look, he's earned a new deal, 100%. For me, he's going to be, if not, he is getting towards being one of the best defenders in Europe. Yes, his pace definitely gets him out of trouble quite a lot of the time. But he's genuinely becoming an excellent defender as well. He really is. And this is the sort of player, and the partnership with Romero, that should be our centre-back partnership for years. A bit like Alderweireld and Vertonghen were. You know, that's how I see it. And Mickey van der Ven simply has to stay at Tottenham long term. Build that solid back line like Pochettino had for those years with Walker, Alderweireld, Vertonghen and Rose. just that stability. Let's get that right. Let's get this deal done with Mickey van der Ven. He's definitely earned it. They want to tie him down before the new year, as has been reported in that article. So let's hope Vinay Venkatesham gets that done and we tie Mickey van der Ven down, because, as I say, well, he's certainly one of my favourite players, and someone I just love watching play football. I mean, I don't know how often you say that you love watching a centre-back play football. Obviously, if you're a defender by trade, you probably like to look at that defence. I prefer watching attackers, but I do love watching Mickey van der Ven play football. Anyone with pace, and he's a sensational player, and we should be tying him down. So let's hope we get that one done. Tell and Odobert scoring again. They are really on fire for France under 21s, 100%. I mean, they seem to play really well together, these two lads, and obviously played at Leeds together in our front line. So look, let's hope that they bring that back to Spurs. Odobert seems to be the one that's claiming that left wing position at the moment, so you'd think Odobert starts. I would imagine if Richarlison's fit, he starts in the number 9 role and Tell will be on the bench. But this can only be good. This gets both players' confidence up. They're scoring goals, providing assists. This is really good. And sounds like they did really well during this international break. So, as I say, that gets their confidence up. Can only be a good thing for Spurs. So that's really good to hear. Mixed nights for other players. Shame about Ben Davies losing out and getting injured on his 100th cap. Real shame for them. Looked like a good start when Joe Rodon headed them in the lead, but of course they're playing a very good team in Belgium and inevitably lost that after they went behind. I didn't see Wales coming back. They did put up a bit of a fight, but Belgium were just too strong, and Johnson not getting loads of minutes for Wales against Belgium, of course. Sad for Lucas Bergvall, just doesn't seem to be cutting at international level, but look, Lucas Bergvall is very, very young. He will get into that team, and I'm sure in years to come he will be a mainstay in that team and one of the first names on the team sheet, to be honest. He's just got to be patient. Just didn't work for it. It's not working for him at the moment, sadly. And the other players in international duty, Jamie Donnelly, Jamie's just not having a good run of it as late as he is, not getting many minutes where he is, and he didn't really get many minutes. Well, he didn't get any for his national side. So, yeah, a bit of a shame. Unused substitute, and Northern Ireland lost to Germany in Belfast, which was a real shame for them. Archie Gray, Ashley Phillips, they both played 90 minutes, as I say, as we beat Andorra 1-0. They would be disappointed with that, with the amount of shots they had. Of course, Andorra probably not threatening our goal much at all. But yeah, mixed international break for our players. But there's some good performances in there, and results, of course. Hopefully England win tonight, by the way. Porro is coming out. He's saying he's basically a winger, is what he was saying. I can see that in Pedro Porro. I can. He's very good going forward, and I think he's improving defensively a lot, to be fair. I've always said this, I don't know what you guys think. I would love to see Jed Spence at right back with Porro ahead of him. Bit of a more advanced role. I think he could easily do that role. He's such a good crosser of the ball, probably one of the best crossers of the ball from open play in the team. I would love to see Pedro Porro pushed up a bit, up the pitch a bit, where he doesn't have those defensive responsibilities. That would be good. I mean, Jed could play there, to be honest, and Pedro could be behind him, but I would love to see Porro in that role, or even, as we've seen probably once or twice, not part of the back three, but part of the back five, so he's playing right wing back. I think that he's got that in his game. We know that. I think that would be really good to see Pedro Porro as a right winger or right wing back. But get down in the comments, let me know, how do you see Pedro Porro going forward? Do you think he should be a right back, or do you think he should be pushed up the pitch a little bit? The report that Ollie Watkins is out, that's got to be a bonus for Tottenham. I don't like to see any players injured, but Ollie Watkins being out for Villa, he has been a bit of a thorn in our side over the years. So if Ollie Watkins is injured, that is a big boost for Tottenham if he can't play. Interesting that Dane Scarlett's been called up to England, so fair play to Dane. That's really good to hear. But this news about Watkins, that's got to be good for Spurs. Look, Watkins hasn't started well in the league for Villa. We know that. It hasn't started on fire at all. Started very slowly. But as I say, he always seems to get goals against Spurs and have an impact on the game. So if Ollie Watkins is injured, look, it could be precautionary. He could just be a knock, and he could feature, he could start, and his name could be on that team sheet. But let's see how that one goes on Sunday. But if he is out, that is a bonus for Spurs. And Vicario's position being under threat, I can see why these reports are out there. Vicario is prone to the odd mistake. I would argue that most goalkeepers are. There are very few out there that aren't prone to the odd mistake and criticism. Even Donnarumma, I mean, he's come to Man City, but he wasn't fancied at PSG at all. Probably the best goalkeeper in the world at the moment. Every goalkeeper makes mistakes. I know Vicario, like I say, he's prone to them. A bit of a clanger, but he is a fantastic shot stopper. And I think you'll find with Vicario, if somebody else comes in, that's going to drive him even more to be even better, which is the way it should be. Let's face it, it's the way it should be. Having said that, I think Anton Enquiries is probably, some would say, got a case to say that he should be given a chance, and no doubt he will be given chances, certainly before Christmas, in the amount of games we've got coming up. So let's see how that one goes. Perhaps the club are waiting to see how Kinski performs, and Thomas Frank is going to basically have a look at both of them and hope Vicario, because he can, like I say, he can flap a bit. He does worry me a bit sometimes. Yeah, I suppose what I'm saying is, would you like to see Vicario replaced? Do you think Vicario is good enough? He's certainly good leader at the back. You always hear him talking and shouting and organising his defence, but is that enough? Would you like to see Vicario replaced? And who, if so, who would you like to see come in? So that's all from me on the stories today. Get down in the comments and let me know, as always, your thoughts about those stories or anything else you want to discuss. And as always, come on you Spurs.